All right, here we go. 14.3.7 just uploaded onto both of my vehicles. So let's start with the Cybertruck. I'm going to go to, we're not going to the coffee shop yet. We'll go there later. Listen, thanks for coming back. My name is Truth Tom. Please do me a favor. Drop down there, like and subscribe the video. If you wouldn't mind, 70% of you are watching the videos, but you're not subscribed. So I'd appreciate it if you do that. Now, let's see. We're going to start off by reversing out of the driveway. I'm going to go down to a local boat launch here where I walk every morning. And what is going on? Oh, that's wrong. So we need to go. Let's do Grok. Hey, Grok, take me to Remley's Point.
Did you mean Remley's Point boat landing?
Yes.
The community center?
That's the one.
Which one?
No, I need the boat landing. Here we go. We got you. Now, and I am going to do a...
Navigating to Remley's Point boat landing. 2.8 miles away. 8 minutes.
Okay, goodbye.
For recording...
Thank you, Grok. You're so helpful. I am going to drop a pin here. I'm going to... Because what happens is it stops me over here on the road, and I don't like that. So I'm going to drop the pin, and... My goal today is parking. Actually, it's two things. It's getting out of this driveway and parking. Sometimes it hesitates when I'm reversing out of the driveway. Now, the other reason for that is you can tell I have a gravel sort of an extension to the right of my driveway, and I'm parked like, sideways. So anyway, let's see how it does. If I need to tap the accelerator, I will, but so far I have not had to. By the way, the Cybertruck does this much better than the Model Y. The Model Y has a tendency to, I don't know, I sometimes think the Model Y thinks it's seeing something, and I'm not sure why that is, but anyway, we're gonna move on down the line here. I want to thank everybody for coming back. I really appreciate you watching my videos. My plan today was to do the follow-up video for Tesla service down there in Savannah, Georgia, which was a phenomenal experience. And I have very strong views about service in every industry going forward. And I believe that there's a day of reckoning coming. And it's going to be important for businesses to understand that survival is going to be the key going forward. Now we've got a kid there on the right because the school bus is about to come. Now it's hesitating. Okay, it hesitated there. That's okay. A little shudder, a little hesitation. The car's being safe. It's being overly cautious. Now we're going to go. Nothing wrong with that. I'll tell you, this Cybertruck is so comfortable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I truly love it. And I know you heard the great news yesterday. It just broke yesterday. Let's talk about some of the Tesla news, actually. Yesterday, the news broke regarding Cybercab. They are now going to sign you up if you take robotaxi rides in any of the cities where they are available. That will automatically get you into a drawing to get an invite to the Cybercab launch event. So, this is the day we've been waiting for. They're going to launch Cybercab. Now, I want to hear from the bears in this video, because I know you guys hate Tesla and you hate Elon, and that's probably not fair. I shouldn't say you hate Elon, you hate Tesla. I'm sure you have other companies that you're invested in. You may be banking on different technologies. You may be a Ford investor, a Chevy investor, or whatever, a Toyota investor. You may even be a Waymo investor. You may have a lot of Google. But I do need you to weigh in on this. What is Cybercab launch going to look like? Is it going to be the disappointment we got in Vegas, where they're like, okay, you can allow 10 of them to roam around Austin? Or is the launch going to be an opportunity for me as a citizen or you to purchase a vehicle? That's the part I'm curious about, because way back when Elon said this car will be available to you for $25,000. Now we know that $25,000 is not going to stick. The world has changed a lot from then until now. Obviously, we have an enormous inflation crisis. That, in fairness, does seem to be tapering off now. But anyway, I would say this car will come in somewhere around $30,000. But I'm in South Carolina. We don't even have robotaxi here. When am I going to get one? Or is this going to be one of those things where, you know, San Francisco, Phoenix, Charlotte, you know, Austin, all these other cities, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, are they all going to have these, you know, for years before I get mine? I hope not. Because, frankly, if that happens, then I would guess that we have actually fallen behind against China, because China are moving rapidly. They're moving rapidly in robotics. I know we don't want their robots. They kick kids in the gut. We saw that video, all of us. So we don't want the robots. We don't want the humanoid robots for sure. But they do seem to be figuring out a way to make cars very, very inexpensively, and they have flooded Europe with these cars. And they're going to kill the European automakers. And of course, this is the other thing. Many times in the Tesla community, some of us have a tendency to be very biased. And, you know, we're always talking about Tesla. And we talk about how in Europe, the Chinese models will kill the European models. Ford and Chevy sell cars there too, as does Toyota and everybody else. So they're going to kill everybody. You know, and it's like in China, nobody's buying Chevys in China anymore, or Fords. So they're going to kill everybody. But I believe that, you know, if it takes me another 3 years, for instance, as an example, or maybe even a year, to be allowed to operate my Cybercab around these roads without a steering wheel, I would believe that we are falling behind. And that's not something we want to do right about now. Anyway, I want to get back to this build 14.3.7. This is extremely smooth. You know, I mean, I know you notice everybody who's doing these videos, we forget we're even in the car, right? Like I'm not focused anymore on the controls. I'm looking outside the car. In fact, in this particular neighborhood, I'm looking at all these houses being built here that are, you know, $2, $3, $4 million homes. Only a few short years ago, you could buy these lots for 50 grand. It's kind of crazy how we've come here in the South. But yeah, I mean, it's unsupervised. We're definitely ready to take over at all times, which I highly suggest everybody is. And don't believe those fake videos that guys are sleeping in their Teslas while they're driving. That's not happening. But you do forget that you're driving the car because, frankly, it's that good. So very smooth over the speed bumps there. I believe, I've said it before and I won't say it again. It's perfect. It's not perfect. And we may find that out in a couple of minutes here. The other problem I have this morning at this particular time is I have not had my coffee yet. So obviously none of us are happy campers before we have our coffee or our tea or our soda or our beer. Just kidding. Or whatever you have first thing in the morning. Yeah, maybe you're having beer. I hope you're not. Unless you're on a beach somewhere and you're on vacation, or you're in the mountains and you're getting ready to go hunting, or you're on safari and you're sitting back and you're sipping on a nice cold one on your vacation that I'm sure you've earned. But I haven't had my coffee, so I'm not a happy camper. Now we're going, the speed limit here is 25, we're going 20. By the way, I'm in standard mode. I drive in standard mode 90% of the time. and I'm quite happy with it. Sorry, the speed limit here is 30, not 25. So, and a lot of people have said in this build, the people that were the early adopters, they are saying that the car seems to be going slower in the various modes, like the standard, mostly the standard hurry and Mad Max. People are saying Mad Max won't go over 5 miles above the speed limit in some areas. Now, I'm not sure why that's happening. But also, would you care? You know, if I'm sitting in the back of this truck right now and I'm on my computer, do I care if I'm going 5 miles an hour over or 10 miles an hour over? And what's the rush? You know, we all say, oh, I'm rushing, I got to be there at a certain time, but mostly we're rushing because we want to get out of the car. When you're in this car, you kind of don't care about being in the car, right? So, anyway, I'm wondering if maybe everything will slow down with autonomy. Right? Imagine if no car was allowed to go 90 miles an hour, right? Imagine how safe the roads would be then. Not alone are they safer because of, let's see what it does here. I'm hoping, against all hope, that it's going to park. Let's see what it does here. Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty perfect. How about that? All right, job number 1. You're done. Now I need a cup of coffee. And let's just go totally hands-free. Hey, Grok, take me to Meadow Coffee and Tea, please.
Sure. Navigating to Meadow Coffee and Tea on West Coleman Boulevard in Mount Pleasant, about 1.6 miles away.
Okay.
ETA around.
Okay, Rock. Goodbye. Thank you. So, oh, it didn't do that. All right, Grok, you're failing me. Where are we going? Let's go to Meadow. I apologize. The camera keeps shutting off on me, and it's kind of annoying. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's hearing a word, or it's hearing me say something that's thinking I'm telling it to not do this anymore, but that's not what's happening. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. So we're heading to Meadow Coffee now and Tea, and again, back on the same trail. Let's see, what else is going on with Tesla? Nicki Minaj is coming to X Takeover. And boy, did that set up a firestorm of argument on the internet. Obviously, some people like her, some people dislike her. Look, I'm going to tell you my stance on this. In fact, I'm going to tell you my stance on people's views and everything else. I don't care what you believe. I don't care how you dress. I don't care what your music is. I don't care about your color, your creed. I really don't care if you're man, female. If you want to identify as anything you want, I'm fine with that. I just don't want you to push it on me. I have my beliefs. I stick to my beliefs. As everybody knows in this community, I am the most flexible person in the world. I love when people correct me because I want to understand that I know what I'm talking about. And sometimes I get bad information also. But anyway, Nicki Minaj is coming to X Takeover as a speaker. Of course, May Musk, Elon's mom, is going to be there also. And there will be other people in the community that will get to speak. Shout out to Landon of the West, who's one of the most phenomenal people. You should be following him on X. He is such a cool dude. Knows an enormous amount of things. And he's going to be the MC, so I'm really excited about that. But here's the thing. If everybody in the world, as far as I'm concerned, has the right to live, they have a right to their beliefs, they don't have a right to go around killing people or any of that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. But I also believe that they have a right to have access to Tesla. They have a right to put their family in a car that's as safe as it can possibly be. Just like they have the same right when they put their family on an airport, on an airplane, or on a train, or when they send them to the mall, or when they send them to a school. Everybody has the right to safety and the right to be protected. So if Nicki Minaj shows up and Tesla sell another 1 million cars, I'm fine with that. But I'll tell you what I'm also fine with. I'm also fine with the fact if Nicki Minaj shows up and Tesla lose 1 million in sales. Because that's just the way it is, right? Now also, I need to get back to that point. People hated Elon when he got involved in politics. Do you remember? Do you remember they were burning the Teslas? Do you remember all the poor innocent people, by the way? They weren't, when they were burning all those cars and setting them on fire, they weren't hurting Elon. They were hurting the people who owned those cars. But do you remember all that? And how sales slumped and everybody said, oh, Tesla's going to go out of business. That guy's a jerk. He shouldn't be getting involved in politics. What the hell is wrong with him? And now, here we are a few years past that. And those very same people are saying, whoa, wait a minute. I can save money with this car. This car drives itself. This car is 7 times safer than humans. To hell with politics. I want my family safe. And that's what happens. So these things are temporary. My old friend Bobby O'Connor used to say these are 9-day wonders. Something catastrophic happens, 9 days later, it's forgotten about. Sadly, this happens when you die also. Everybody's really sad when they find out about your death. And about 9 days later, you're forgotten about, except for your loved ones and those people close to you. But basically, your history, brother. So you need to understand that too. And for me, that's why I love Tesla. I love making these videos. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I want to have fun with it. And by the way, I apologize. My windshield is filthy. I've been really, really extremely busy today in my own life outside of the Tesla life. So I haven't had time to keep up with my automobiles. So it's a little cleaner, but it's not proper. Anyway, we're heading to Meadow right now, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is pretty smooth. Definitely, I'm feeling. I have a saying: you feel it in your ass. You can feel it in your seat. That it's much smoother than the previous. Not much smoother. It's smoother than the previous build. And as long as that frog is still in my throat, and as long as the parking works, I'm kind of happy so far. Parking is the issue. It's the issue for everybody, everywhere. It's the issue sometimes when you get to a charging station. It must get fixed. And until it gets fixed, I don't believe Tesla will get the credit for being an autonomous vehicle. Sad, but true. However, currently, my belief is that Tesla is most definitely above ready for point-to-point transportation. If you eliminate the parking need, this car will take you from address A to address B from the front door to the front door without any problems. And if that's what it takes to be a robo-taxi, I believe they've already achieved that. They're obviously proving it in other places. Now, I am delighted that the car is taking me this way. When I leave from my house, there's a shorter way that the car takes me, but It's taking me this way now, and the reason I like that is because there's an extremely awkward left turn to get into the coffee shop. And again, if the car makes a mistake or hesitates, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not touching anything unless there's some critical need to intervene, but I'm not touching anything. And we're about to find out if 14.3.7 is worth its weight in gold. So let's see about that. Beautiful morning. Very hot here in the south. We are expected to be 100 degrees today, which is hotter than yesterday, if you can imagine that. I had some contractors doing a big job at one of my properties yesterday, and it was painful. It was painful to be out there. Kudos to any of you who are out there working construction or painting or landscaping or anything you're doing outside is torture. I was talking to those guys yesterday, and the one guy was down in the hole digging, and he was kind of looking at me because he's like, why is this guy standing over me? And then I sensed that, and I left. I needed to leave and leave those guys alone. But right before I did that, I said to him, I said, you know what, man? I was the guy down in that hole one time. I said, I appreciate everything you're doing. And you need to do that. You need to let people know that they're appreciated, especially when they're working their butts off out in this heat. Let's see where, I'm going to try to get this to take me to where will we go? Well, it's actually, yeah, it's set to take me to the parking lot. So I'm not going to drop any pins anywhere. Let's just leave that alone. This is that awkward. Sometimes it's supposed to go here and then go in here. It doesn't always do that. I hope it does. I hope it's true to its own map. But sometimes it tries to go in this driveway here, which it can. Then it will get lost in here, and then it will come around. But we're going to see exactly what it does. Now, as soon as we make this turn, it's got to get in the left lane. So let's see what it does there. See how it performs. All right, this is nice, very nice and smooth. What a beautiful morning, my God. I'm just glad I'm not out in it. It is supposed to cool down later in the week. So let's see it. Okay, now it's doing it right. It's doing it right. Now, see how awkward this stop is? The line is here, right? The light is there. The turn is way up there on the left. I don't know if you can see that. So it has to figure out how to get all the way up there and make that turn. Usually what I do is I tap the little pedal here, my little trusted gas pedal, and I move up into that area. I'm not doing that this time. I'm going to leave the car alone, and I'm going to wait until that light changes. Or if there's a big break in the traffic, I'm sure the car will take its own initiative to make that left. And again, humans are impatient, right? Most humans would be up there in the middle of the intersection trying to make that left as soon as they got a break. But if you're autonomous, if you're sitting in the back here, or you're watching a movie, would you care? Now we're moving. This is really good. Now we're moving. Okay, why do you want to make that turn any faster? People will say, oh, it's too slow, it didn't do this, it didn't do that. Now we're going into the parking lot. Oh my God, this is really impressive. Now it's got to find a space. Where will it park? Number one. And will it park me straight? It's going to park me right there. Let's see. Please park straight. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Now, we're crooked. We're a little crooked, right? But I'm going to defend that. We're inside the line. And the reason we're a little crooked is there's this big giant trailer right behind me. So as far as I'm concerned, that right there is success. Okay, welcome back. We're going to do this all over again, this time in the Model Y.
Sorry, I can't record audio. What else can I help with?
Grok, I need you to take me to Remley's Point boat launch.
Navigating to Remley's Point boat landing, about 2.2 miles away in Mount Pleasant. It'll add 16 minutes to your route.
Thank you, Grok. Goodbye. Okay, we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to drop a pin in. And it's going to be interesting to see the difference in contrast between the Model Y and the Cybertruck on 14.3.7. My parking situation is very awkward right now. Right directly behind, not directly behind me, but kind of off to the side is my Cybertruck. So this car is going to have to navigate its way past that. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, I'm going to intervene, but I want to see the capabilities or how far we've come with this 14.3.7. Let's go. Okay, it's moving. Look at that. Look at that. You see that? It's navigating its way past the Cybertruck. And now it's going to get out of the driveway. In 14.6, it would stop here because it saw something. It's doing it again. It hesitated, but now it's moving. Okay, that's improvement right there. That automatically, right there, right off the top, is improvement. I'm dying to see how this compares to the Cybertruck. And so far, it's performing really, really impressively. Now, I'm not going to do a lot of talking in this video because it's unnecessary, and you've stayed for this long, and I really do appreciate that. I'll ask you one more time to please drop down there and subscribe to my channel. My name is Truth Tom. I absolutely love doing these videos, and I hope that it's helping some of you out there. And if you want to purchase a Tesla, use the link in the comments of this video. You will not regret it. As you know, I, of course, I'm on my third Tesla. I purchased a 2022 in 2022 brand new Model 3. I then purchased this Model Y in August of last year, 2025. We're currently in August of 2026. And I just picked up my Cybertruck a couple of weeks ago, my $59,000 Cybertruck that I feel like I stole this from the company. I got such a good deal. My experiences have always been phenomenal with Tesla. So I'm going to stop talking now, and unless something happens, I'm not going to come back until we get to Remley's Point boat launch and get to a parking space, which I'm hoping it does. Okay, now we're approaching the parking area here. Let's see what it does. if it takes me to a parking space, that would be really, really impressive. And it looks like it's going to do that. Now see, it's backing us in. These spaces that both the Cybertruck and this car parked me in are actually boat and trailer spaces. There are some spaces for cars over there. I don't think it can distinguish the difference, and I really don't care about that. I still think this is just really, really impressive. So now we're going to go to the coffee shop, so let's start there. Hey Grok.
Sorry, I can't record audio. What else can I help with?
Grok, take me to Remley's Point. Sorry, take me to Meadow Coffee and Tea.
Found Meadow Coffee and Tea at 354 West Coleman Boulevard in Mount Pleasant, about 1.6 miles away. Starting navigation there now.
So you notice I didn't say farewell or whatever to Grok, because I think when I say that, it shuts off my recording device for some reason. Tell me in the comments if you think that that's what's happening. Anyway, we're heading to the coffee shop now, just like I did before. And I'm purely choosing both of these locations because I'm trying to compare .7 in both Cybertruck and Model Y. So I'll stop talking now. I want to talk for a second about the real estate market here in Charleston, South Carolina. This is actually Mount Pleasant, which is right across the bridge from Charleston. These buildings on your left here, these are condominiums. There's 2 units right there in that first building. Those are, I believe, $3 million each. Your neighbor right next door, that's what we're looking at in this area. And by the way, they're tiny little properties. They are literally built on top of each other. That is how absolutely ridiculous real estate prices have gotten here in the Charleston, South Carolina area. The entire southern United States, actually. That's pretty crazy. I just wanted to hit on that. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do any videos on real estate, because I'm quite knowledgeable in that area too. All right, now we're coming up to that awkward traffic light again. It will stop us where it's supposed to. Now this car is pulling forward. This is really smooth, really smooth. Equally as smooth as the Cybertruck. And now let's see if it will pull us into the parking lot. There's definitely spaces available. Here comes a Rivian coming towards us. I love the Rivian. It's a beautiful vehicle. I really want Rivian to do good. There's plenty of room for the good guys, and there's no room at all for the bad guys. Just like in life. Here we go. I mean, it's almost the same parking space as before. I think it might be the same. It is the same parking space. That is wild. So there you go, folks. There you go. Could it be any better? Could it be any better? Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here.
Truth is the way. Speak it yourself. Demand it from others.